When we talk about software transformation, the conversation usually starts with the structure, architecture, processes, and technology stacks. But if we look at how the system behaves over time, we notice the real constraints are often not where we expect them to be. They are not only in the code or in the architecture or in the technology stack, but embedded in how the system actually operates as a whole. Modern software ecosystems are not purely technical systems, but socio-technical systems, which means they are shaped by interaction between multiple elements: people, infrastructure, processes, culture, goals, and technology stacks. These components do not operate independently. They continuously influence each other, and their interaction defines how the system behaves in reality. For example, a change in team topologies affects communication patterns. Communication patterns affect how decisions are made, and those decisions shape the architecture over time. This is where hidden complexity appears, not in individual parts, but in the interaction between these socio-technical components. And this complexity cannot be fully captured in model or plans. It becomes visible only through how the system behaves in real conditions. If we look at transformation efforts through this lens, we start to see consistent constraints across these dimensions. On the people level, we often have the right people but operating with the wrong dynamics. On the infrastructure level, systems appear stable on the surface but contains crack that becomes visible under the pressure. On the process level, workflows are defined by the work against how value actually flows. At the cultural level, assumptions and habits act as the hidden constraints on the change. Goals, organizations move toward quickly, but toward unclear, shifting direction. And on the technology stack level, there is often assumptions that new tools or platforms will solve deeper problems, when in reality they only shift them. This is why many transformation efforts struggle, because the focus is usually on what visible is: architecture, tools, process, while the underlying socio-technical dynamics remains largely unexamined. Over time, this creates a gap between how the system is designed and how it actually behaves in practice. And that gap evolves. Socio-technical systems are not passive. They respond to change. When we introduce a new architecture or new process, the system adapts, sometimes in expected ways, but often unexpected ones. So before we talk about the methods, framework, or steps, it's important to be clear about the things. Transformation is not only about applying changes, it is about understanding the conditions in which those changes take place. And once you start looking at the system in this way, the question changes. It is no longer only what should we change, but more importantly, how should we approach change in socio-technical systems.